Stay in the present moment, and the divine hand will work through you. Stay in the present moment, and the divine hand will work through you. Can you dig it? Hi, my name is Casey, and welcome to another random spiritual talk. Today I wanted to focus on the two things that will fix all of your problems here on earth. The two things. What are the two big things that we need to focus on? And once we start focusing on these two things, and then all of our problems stem underneath those, so they start dissolving them. That's purification and presence. Stay in the present moment, and the divine hand will guide you. So we can look at what practices facilitate being able to stay present, being able to stop thinking. Remember, chaos begets chaos. Peace begets peace. If you want peace, we have to surround ourselves with peace. We have to take in foods that allow a more peaceful chemistry. Alkaline fruits and vegetables. If we're eating acidic, aggravating foods, acids are going to aggravate. No, that's part of that's part of purification. If we want to fix a lot of our emotional blockages, if we want to fix any health issue, it comes back down to purification. Because the further you go on purification, the further you will detoxify and clean your body, which is essential for your connection to the divine. Because one of the greatest devotions to God is purification of the vessel, because you are God. You are God. So by purifying the vessel, you're purifying God. You're saying, thank you, God, for this vessel. I'm going to treat it with the highest integrity. And that's devotion. And you pair that, so you keep doing that, and it keeps raising your vibration, and you keep attracting greater things, and you keep getting yourself in more and more balance, and that helps fix all of your problems. The mental, emotional, spiritual, physical. You got to focus on the presence and purification, and you keep going. And when you keep going with these things, you're only going up. Your vibration is only rising, and which you'll keep manifesting and attracting things and events and people in line with your vibration. So you never have to think about a thing. That's what staying present's all about. That's what's crazy. We do all this thinking. We get caught in the loops of the illusion. We get caught in the game. It's easy to get caught in the game, man. There's stuff going on everywhere. Natural disasters, news, presidents. That's all part of the game, man. But if you can stay present and stop your thoughts and focus on purification, you don't got to think about nothing. Regardless, you don't got to think about, you don't got to plan anything. You don't got to do anything. If you stay present, everything's going to be perfect, because the divine hand will guide you in everything you do, everything you say. If you stay present, but how do we facilitate that? We have to calm the mind. We have to calm the mind so we can stop thinking, so we can stay present. So how do we calm the mind? Meditation, mindfulness, mantra, breath work, diet, back to purification. You see, it's a loop. It's a loop. The two things you need to fix everything, it's a loop. They're both connected. Presence and purification. You have to clean the body. You have to. You got to do it. That's what fasting's all about. That's why everybody in this, ancient teachings fast. So that's what we can focus on always. Always come back to presence. That's it. That's your main laser focus. Always come back to presence. Start eating better. that one's pretty simple. Do baby steps. Guys, one of the hardest things we have to do in this particular existence of ours, this incarnation, is changing our diets. That's one of the hardest things to do in this physical iteration that we're currently in, is because they've created such a toxic food system to make us addicted to all these poisonous substances. And that's what it is. It's all poison. And they're going to get away with it. How do we hold them accountable for selling us poison when it was legal, even though they knew they were toxic? That's a whole nother chat. But so it's one of the hardest things we have to do is change our diet to allow ourselves to accept what the true diet for humans is. It's hard because we're conditioned and we want to eat everything that's not good for us, but we just don't want to give it up. So it's hard to be like, oh, that's right. But that when I'm admitting that's right, that means I have to go toward it, right? In a sense. So that's why I eat predominantly fruits, raw fruits and vegetables. I eat all raw fruits and vegetables. Because we have no claws or fangs. I'm still waiting. Without weapons, tools, or fire, how are you going to procure and prepare your food? You can't do it. What you gonna? I'm just trying to see the reasoning in this. You can't. Are you gonna tackle a cow with your bare hands, kill it, and then somehow eat it with no weapons, tools, or fire? And then they say, "Oh, well, you use a knife to cut a watermelon." I don't have to. Can you open a watermelon? You can open any fruit without any tools or weapons. If if you're in nature, who cares? But yeah, okay. But I could pick a banana without a tool. You know what I mean? So anyway, so it's hard for some people to give up meat. It's hard because it's a stimulant. The protein's a stimulant, and that's why people can feel good on it, and then be like, "Oh, I got cancer. How did that happen?" Well, you eat certain foods, it happens. Two things. Let's get back to it. Purification, presence. What's your problem? What's the issue? You know what I mean? You're at a job you hate. Think about why you're at that job. There's always a lesson to be learned. That's another thing. There's always a lesson. You just got to be paying attention. You got to step back and become the observer and be like, why am I in this loop of some negative interaction, some negative job? Well, you got some lessons to learn. Sometimes the hardest situations in life are our biggest lessons, and we might not see it right away, but later down the road we can be like, wow, I had that one experience with a job or whatever it was that was terrible and caused me a lot of stress, but then in the middle of that I realized that I was doing it to myself through overthinking, causing anxiety, and I was nuking my adrenals. Too much coffee, that makes it worse. It just makes your anxiety worse. Why does it feel like sometimes when you have caffeine your anxiety can get worse if you have too much? You know what I mean? Gotta make those connections. But anyway, my camera malfunction. One of my most stressful jobs was one of my greatest lessons. It actually forced me to meditate finally, and guess what? I started to get a hold of that and realize that any hateful, negative people I was dealing with, that I was getting stressed about, had nothing to do with me. There's your answer. It has nothing to do with you. Those are just the level of their inner state is projecting outwards. So if someone is rude and nasty and negative to you, that's how their current state is inwards. It's nothing about you. They're just acting on their chemistry and their conditioning. That's everybody. That's all you can do. We're just nature, like in my last video, we're just nature running off. So the biggest takeaway is to just relax and try to be the observer. Stand in the center of the circle. Stand in the center of the circle. Do not have any biases or attachments. That's the goal anyway. Easier said than done. And always observe. Trust no one, like the X-Files. Just say, okay, that's a possibility. And then let it go. And whatever happens, that's it. So focus on those two things. Always come back to balance. I have a new Substack article. My Substack is Fruit Saves the World, if you look it up. About balance, mental and spiritual balance. Sometimes we have to remind ourselves. Namaste.